makes me feel the way you do. No one makes me feel the way. No one makes me feel the way. No one makes me feel the way. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do. No one makes me feel the way. No one makes me feel the way. No one makes me feel the way. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the action. For the thousands joining us live and the millions joining us around the world, welcome to the Forum in the great city of Copenhagen, Denmark!
All 8 PDC superstars advanced in round 1 in Copenhagen, but it was Gerwyn Price who stole the show on the opening day as he beat Cordecker 6-3 and becoming the only man to average 100 on the first day. Nathan Aspinall produced the first upset of the weekend on day 2 as he beat Luke Littler in the quarterfinals 6-3, knocking the world number 2 out, and set up a tie with Stephen Bunting in the semi-finals. It was Stephen Bunting who got the victory though in the semi-final as he raced into a 5-0 lead over Nathan Aspinall before Asp responded with 5 legs of his own but fell short, losing 7-5. Rob Cross would make it back-to-back finals on the World Series this year as he beat Gerwyn Price 7-4 and set up yet another tie with the Bullet Stephen Bunting. It wasn't to be for Rob Cross as Stephen Bunting won his second World Series title of the year.
And the 2025 Mr. Vegas Golden Arts Masters Champion, Stephen Bunting!
Phenomenal, to be honest. Really happy, proud. There's been a lot of hard work over the last few months after the back of the Premier League, which was disappointing for me, but to be able to get back into the winner's circle, especially on the World Series, playing some of my best stuff, to be honest, and to be ranked number 1 now going into New York and Australia, it's a real honour for me.
And a brilliant performance against Rob in the final. You'd lost your last 9 against him beforehand. Were you aware of that going into the final?
No, and I'm glad no one told me, to be honest. But yeah, obviously I knew my record wasn't as good. I didn't know it was 9, but yeah, I'm happy to be able to get that win now, and we can forget about records against Rob Cross. Obviously it's great. It starts to snowball, hopefully, and this could be the first title of many to come this year. I've already had Bahrain as well, tasted success in that, and obviously in this one, and yeah, I'd love to win more titles. The match play around the corner, so yeah, that puts me in people's minds, doesn't it?
Frankfurt, Germany was next on the cards on the calendar as we headed for the World Cup of Darts, where 40 of the best nations in the world battled it out to be crowned World Cup champions. Netherlands took the group stage by storm as Jan van Veen and Danny Noppert partnered up for the first time, beating Italy and Hungary 4-0 respectively. Argentina for the first time made their debut at the World Cup of Darts, and they took the game by storm as they beat Finland 4-1 in the opener, and when it mattered they beat New Zealand 4-3 to book their place in the second round. Hometown heroes Martin Schindler and Ricardo Pietrezco also made it through to the round 2 unscathed as they beat Portugal 4-2 and whitewashed Singapore in their second game. Hong Kong were the first of 3 Asian nations to book their place in the next round also, as they beat Bahrain and USA. But it was Malaysia who shocked the world as for the first time in their World Cup of Darts career, they made it through past the group stage.
Sends Malaysia through to round 2 for the first time in their history.
The Philippines caused the shock of the tournament after trailing 3-0 to Mike De Decker and Dimitri Vandenberg. The Philippines won 4-3, with Paolo the Breeder stealing the show.
then let's get ourselves underway and to play the reigning and defending World Cup champions, Team England, it will be number 7, and that's Germany.
England versus Germany, the highly anticipated tie. Was it going to be the world number 1 and world number 2 who would prevail, or was it going to be the hometown heroes who would cause a shock?
One of the biggest upsets you will see in the World Cup of Darts. The team they labelled as unbeatable, the world number 1, Luke Humphries, and the world number 2, Luke Littler, are out! Martin Schindler, Ricardo Pietrezco. I doff my cap, that was spectacular.
Germany have toppled the Titans. The hosts are through to the quarter-finals. It is one of the biggest results they have ever produced in the history of the World Cup.
Germany would then go on to beat Damon Heta and Simon Whitlock of Australia to put themselves in the semi-finals. As Northern Ireland and Ireland battled it out in the other quarter-final, it would be Northern Ireland who would prevail and beat Ireland 8-5. Wales were still on the hunt for their 3rd World Cup title as they beat Hong Kong 8-4. Where the Netherlands dropped their first 2 legs of the tournament but still run out 8-2 victors against Czechia. Daryl Gurney and Josh Rock broke German hearts in the semi-final as they made their first ever World Cup final, beating the Germans 8-1.
Some history for Northern Ireland, and now Daryl Gurney celebrates. Rock and Gurney have taken the host nation apart with a world-class display. Rock brought the power in the scoring phase, Gurney getting the job done when he needed to at the back end of legs.
But Wales were hot on Northern Ireland's heels as they beat the Netherlands 8-5 with this stunning checkout.
Tops for the final. And Gavin Price and Johnny Clayton, one of the great World Cup pairings, are in the final again. 4 finals in the last 6 years. They've done it again. This Welsh darting duo have downed the Dutch, and they had to come from behind to do it. They were behind for most of this match.
Johnny Clayton pinned the 70 checkout to take us to a last leg decider in what was probably one of the best ever last leg deciders in World Cup history.
Greatest World Cup of Darts games, let alone finals, is going to end in a moment. Does it end with a 10-darter and Northern Ireland's first ever title? Daryl Gurney has just won the World Cup for Northern Ireland. It is one of the most astonishing finals this tournament has ever seen, and one of the greatest pairs partnerships we have ever seen in Clayton and Price. Can only applaud them for what is a devastating display of scoring and nerve that lifts this trophy for the first time in their history. They are crying with delight here in Frankfurt.
All 4 players know that they have been involved in what was the most wonderful World Cup final you may ever see. And Daryl Gurney is literally in tears. He's a champion in his own right. Now, partnering Josh Rock, they are World Cup winners. And full credit to Gerwin Price and Johnny Clayton here. This is wonderful scenes in Frankfurt. Josh Rock is a World Cup winner, but it'd be hard to believe that he will not win many, many more singles events. The standard showed, average 107 on his own. Over 19 legs of purely wonderful darts. Astonishing.
So proud to play with this man. This man has, sorry, it keeps on breaking up, but this man has been that good. His power scoring has been unreal. And all I have had to do was whenever he left me, I had to take it out. And all honesty, I thought I blew it on double five. But whenever it did and it didn't, because whenever I went all the way, I knew we had to throw in the last leg. But whenever I went to double eight, I mean, it was Shaky Stevens' time. But I was never missing double eight.
Oh, that was absolutely massive. That was in my first major, officially, with Darryl, playing with this man. We made the absolute perfect double team. I done the scoring, he done the finishing. What more can you ask for when it comes to a perfect double and pair? That's all I can say.
Alex Higgins, Barry McGuigan, Rory McIlroy, all-time greats, Northern Irish athletes. You are now up there. How special is that to be included in that conversation?
Massively special. Big time, especially Rory. He just won the Grand Slam in the golf, and I follow golf a lot, and watching him win that Masters was unbelievable to get the Grand Slam. But now, there's only one thing they haven't all got on us, and it's a World Cup. We're the first people ever to do a World Cup in any sport for Northern Ireland, and I'm so privileged to have Darryl Gurney by my side. I'm one up with him because we said we were going to win the first time we got together.
Back in Players Championship 17 in Leicester, it was Chris Dobey who won the opening of 3 tournaments as he beat Dirk van Duijvenbode 8-7.
It's delight for Dobey that epic final does have.
Stephen Bunting was crowned victorious in Players Championship 18 as he beat Jermaine Watermina 8-5, with the Bullet averaging over 104 to pick up his first Players Championship title of the year.
Jermaine Watermina had no answer to that 6-leg winning streak from Bunting.
And with the hunt for the world match play spots very much on, it was James Wade who sealed the final of 3 events, beating Scott Williams 8-3.
Follows Chris Dobey and Stephen Bunting into the winners' enclosure in Leicester this week.